Past guest and YouTube sensation Melissa Maker joins us for an update and, amongst other things, explains how she got Modern Family star Jess Tyler Fergusson, he plays the gay dad Mitchell, to appear in her marketing free of charge. Yep, FOC.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. You so much more importantly are a motivated business owner, and you are ready to crank out some great marketing to build that business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Hey, welcome back. If you're a long-time listener, thanks for rejoining us. If you're a first-time listener, stick with us. It gets better and better, and your marketing will improve out of sight. Hey, big show today. Have a great chat with past guest Melissa Maker. She's a YouTube star. She has built her brand exponentially, and we talk about that. We talk about all these additional revenue streams she's added to her business and how she gets a Modern Family star in her marketing. FOC, hey? Got a listener question about the sound of ads. Got some listener feedback. Love listener feedback. Exciting news on next week's guest. Bit of a marketing hero of mine, I've got to tell you. And I got a motivational quote that's a wake-up call to any business owner trying to be something they're not. Is that you? Hey, today's show lovingly brought to you by Net Registry, who do care about one thing and one thing only, and that's getting your marketing sorted online. They sort you out with everything from domain names, website hosting, website design. They'll even get that website found. So check out their exclusive listener packages over at netregistry.com.au/Timbo. And we're also made possible by Key Person of Influence. A wacky name, I've got to say, but an amazing program if you're keen to become more visible, more valued, and more connected in your industry. I'll have more on an amazing live event they've got coming up very shortly. So look out for that. As per usual, team, there's marketing. G. Give us an O. Give us an L. Give us a D. There is marketing gold dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Do you need a speaker for your next conference? Recommend Timbo to your event organiser. Or better still, book him. Tim Reid, that's reid.com.au.
Hey, quick check-in, team. How's your week? Is it good? Is it productive? Are you ticking boxes and getting stuff done? I hope so. I have been working hard at productising my business. In fact, productising is one of the 5 Ps that the KPI program teach. Did you know that? I don't know if you did. I'm doing that with the aim of increasing my revenue streams via back-of-room sales when I speak at conferences. What I find is people want a little bit more of you when you do speak at a conference, and if you've got nothing to give them, then there's a bit of disappointment there. So I'm working on a couple of things. Maybe there's some ideas in here for you as well. My book. Oh, my goodness me. When was the first time I mentioned the writing of my book on this program? Hey? It would be embarrassing to say a lot of episodes ago. Anyway, it's done. Yeah, the manuscript is done. The ISBN and barcode is sorted. The testimonials are received. I have even visited the printer and selected the size and the stock, and the cover design competition is being finished today over at 99 Designs. So boy, oh boy, are we getting close. I can't wait to be able to tell you that it is finished, printed, I am holding a copy, and that you could request a copy of the book. I'll have it for sale on the website, but also selling it at, as I said, speaking engagements. I've also worked on a CD. It's called Marketing Gold, Volume 1. You like that? It's a 3 CD set. One is about remarkable marketing. One's about video marketing. The other is about e-commerce marketing. 2 of my best interviews on each of those topics plus a full transcript. And that's looking really cool as well. So Yeah, trying to productise what I do. And if you're a service provider, I encourage you to do the same. I hope your week's been a ripper. If you are having some wins, then be sure to share them, hey? No matter what their size. And if you'd like someone to share them with, like some other motivated business owners, head over and step inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum over at crankmymarketing.com. Okie dokie. Let's get stuck into today's guest. Great friend and supporter of this show is Melissa Maker of Clean My Space. I'll put a link into the first interview I did with her way back at episode 197. This is episode 295, so 100 episodes ago, thereabouts. Brief background. I will get Melissa to kind of give us that kind of quick version of what she does, but she started a cleaning business, cleaning upscale homes in Toronto many years ago. Nothing special about that, but what is special is the way Melissa has marketed that business. She created what I would now consider to be a world-class YouTube channel where she posts all sorts of videos about how she cleans stuff, and it's brilliant. It's so helpful. And that's led to her becoming the Martha Stewart, not the Martha Gardner, as I suggested in this interview, of Canada. So she's a serious cleaning celebrity. Listen in and we cover how all this marketing that she's doing has led to a very strong personal brand beyond her wildest dreams, how it's led to multiple forms of income, how she managed to get Modern Family star, unreal story here, to appear in her marketing for nothing. In fact, she got paid to do it. Hey? Plus so much more. I started off by asking Melissa, what's she scared of?
I'm not scared of anything really business related. I'm scared of, I'm what I like to call a recovering hypochondriac. So there you go. I'm scared of anything I read online, scary, 5 things you should look out for in your health or whatever. That's the stuff that scares me. Business stuff doesn't scare me.
Cool. So you are scared of a recovering hypochondriac?
No. I am a recovering hypochondriac. Yeah. Yeah, I always say I'm recovering so that I'm always setting myself up to be better today than I was yesterday. But yeah, that's the stuff that wheels around in my head.
So the minute previously, the old Melissa, the minute you started sneezing, what world was about to cave in?
Well, let's put it this way. My doctor, I get a bit of an eye roll when I end up at the doctor's office.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Oh, I'm glad you're working on it. Many would many would just live with it. We live with so many things and don't work on them.
Always got to work on making yourself better. I'm a firm believer of that.
Good on you. Well, you're looking very well. So there you go.
Thank you.
That's obviously good feedback for a hypochondriac. In fact,
it really is.
You might be going, oh, damn, do I really look well? Hey, now, welcome back. So wonderful to have you back on the Small Business Big Marketing Show, 100 or so episodes ago. For those who haven't heard our first chat, just remind us, what is Clean My Space and how did it come about?
Sure. So Clean My Space is a funny little company. It started in 2006 as a cleaning service here in Toronto where I live. And the idea was to sort of do boutique, upscale housekeeping for clients. In 2011, my husband, he became my husband in 2011, but he was previously my boyfriend. We had started the business together in 2006. And him and I decided that in 2011, we were going to start to make YouTube videos as a way to get more clients for this Toronto-based service. And YouTube hadn't sort of taken off yet. People were still sort of feeling it out. I put a video out there about how to clean salt stains off your boots, which is something, Tim, you would never have to worry about living in your hot, lovely climate, but something I have to worry about. Yeah. And the video started to do well, and we started to get viewers all across the world. And people started to ask questions. We started to get subscribers. So we started to put out, more videos answering different questions. And eventually, it kind of spun off into its own little business. So now we sort of parceled off the company into a new business, which we call Clean Digital Productions, Inc.
Nice.
Which we now make our AdSense revenue on for YouTube and for our blog. Any sponsored work that we do, we get paid through that company as well. And it now employs myself, my husband, a second shooter and an editor and a producer. That's all one person. Yeah. We have sort of an assistant / someone who sort of helps with admin and marketing. And then we have someone who works as a manager / lawyer.
Wow.
And then we're also bringing on a community manager as well, somebody who works in the service business. We're sort of staging her in as a community manager. We just helped her get through a diploma program at school.
And on top of all that, you continue to clean houses. Well, you don't, but Clean My Space continues to clean upscale homes in Toronto.
That's right. Yeah, the team is still going. Our focus
How big's the team?
So it's about 20 people. But the focus has shifted. I mean, the business does what it does. It's a great company. But, my husband and our passion really lies in this whole interesting digital space. So we've really been pouring our heart and souls into that business over the past couple of years.
And I want to talk about that. But just so I understand, how much involvement do you or hubby have in Clean My Space?
Services?
Yeah.
The service business?
Yeah, the cleaning business.
So I split my time. I'm there between 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah,
if
right.
Meetings and travel doesn't take me out of the office.
Yeah.
I'm there to provide support to my office staff, but my office staff basically run the business for me. I'll be there if anything, they have questions or they need to escalate something, but they're running the majority of the business. And I'm able, today I was there, I was working on blog posts. I was getting back to a couple of different magazine interviews that I had going on. So, yeah, I mean, my days are always different, but even when I'm at my office, I do focus heavily on the digital business as well. It's more, I'm present there.
Do you know, Melissa, 100 episodes ago when we last spoke, from memory, it was you, hubby, and you were looking for, I think you called this person a human Swiss Army pocket knife. You were looking for that person that could do everything from editing to filming to blogging to repurposing to, whatever it was. Now you've obviously found that person and a number of others.
That's right, yeah. So, I mean, the cleaning business basically runs itself. My husband doesn't have any involvement in that. But the digital business, what we found is the demands of creating exciting, engaging digital content, something that's different each and every week. And of course, that's responsive to the audience and what they're looking for. And then, of course, anything that's responsive to any sponsored work that we're, currently working on. We were literally working around the clock. And it came to the point where we said, we're making great money, but we have no life. So we basically had to start finding helpers, people who could help us in different areas of expertise. And that was really hard, especially.
Did you reach out to your community? Did you go to Upwork? How'd you do it?
So my husband's best friend had sort of a penchant for digital content. And he said, let me try my hand at it. And, my husband obviously was thrilled and I was thrilled because he's in the inner circle. We know who he is. And we know his work ethic and we know how creative and dedicated he is. And we just gave him a shot and it worked out really, really, really well.
Perfect. Now, I want to explore this idea, Melissa, because I get it. When you, and I'm in the same boat, when you decide to really commit to creating really good content. You're creating really good video content. I like to think I'm creating really good audio content.
Which you are.
Oh, stop it. You've got to, you really do have to step it up. And you do have to find a way of doing it so that it's no longer a hobby. It's no longer that stuff you do on the side to help market your business. And I get that. But the other part of me, I don't want listeners to think, so Tim and Melissa have actually created businesses out of creating digital content. Yeah, we have, but it's still absolutely possible to go along and create charming, helpful, useful, entertaining videos or podcasts or blog posts and be an accountant or a plumber or a masseur at the same time. Yeah? Would you agree with that?
I think you bring up a great point because, people always say, oh my gosh, look at the size of your channel. Look at all the content you're creating. How can I ever do that? I can't replicate that. And the truth is, you're absolutely right. You and I both did turn our content into a business, but that's because that's what we wanted to do. That's where our passion turned. That being said, I used YouTube and sort of the digital space to leverage my initial business, the cleaning service business, for years before I looked at the opportunity costs and sort of the opportunities that were available and said, oh my gosh, I have another business here. I got to get moving on it.
Yeah.
So if anything, I would say don't feel that you have to turn the hobby into a business, ... yet.
Yeah,
because it might become one. It might become one. Just keep an open mind.
Because, and you and I touched on this last time, and I speak about it a lot, if you do start creating that content and you do and continue to run your business at the same time, amazing things happen. For me, it's been a public speaking career. I know last time you and I spoke, you were in New York. I think you're at YouTube's office doing some...
Yeah, I was doing a panel at the Google head office, yeah.
Yeah, the little cleaner from Toronto. Hey,
that's right.
Advising some bigger brands on how to do helpful marketing.
That's exactly what I was doing that day. And I have to say that relationship that I formed on that day at that panel really paid off. And it's a relationship we still have to this day.
With YouTube or with who?
Well, both with YouTube, but with that giant brand that we were working with that I met that day. So that relationship really paid off for us. I
tell you what, this is the woo-woo effect of great marketing right there. So let's talk about, I want to explore the marketing you're doing now. I've got your YouTube channel in front of me. I want to dissect that a little bit.
Yeah.
But would you mind being as open as you're willing to in terms of what are your revenue streams? You don't have to put numbers to them, but I want people to understand, like, you've got the cleaning business over here that's making money by cleaning people's homes. Now you've got Clean Digital Productions.
Yeah.
Nice name, very clever.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we had to come up with something.
Yeah. So tell me, you're getting ad revenue from YouTube. Tick.
Yeah.
Are you speaking?
So it's funny, we were just going through our goals. My husband and I do our goals every year. So we were looking at our 2015 goals, and I had written down that I was going to do some speaking engagements, like paid speaking engagements. And I didn't actually tick that goal off, but I really would like to do that this year. I think that would be really fun. So no, I had to answer your question.
Okay.
No, I haven't done anything.
You can ask me some questions about how to bring that to life. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll interview you one day.
Well, mate, we get at the end of the 5 minutes at the end, you can put me on the hot seat.
Okay.
Consulting?
Like, people have asked me, and again, I would get asked from all over the world. I get emails every day. Hey, can you talk to me about, how to start a cleaning business? And I've done it every now and then. The thing is, I affix a number to it, Tim, and I don't do it to be a jerk. I do it because my time is valuable.
Yep.
And if someone's serious and they really want my advice, I'm happy to sit and do a face-to-face with them on Skype or whatever. But my time is definitely expensive. So there's got to be a charge associated with that.
I was talking to this about a mate yesterday who's got an opportunity to do some consulting, and he's sort of like, don't know whether I do, don't know whether I should, shouldn't I? I said, you put a big number on it, and if they take it, you'll be happy to get out of bed in the morning.
That's right.
And they're obviously happy with it as well. Is there been a moment in your consulting opportunity life where you've put the big number on it thinking, they're no way going to take this, and next thing you know, you're in?
Do you see how big my smile is?
Hello.
Of course, yeah, it's happened. It
Love
has.
it.
And it's great. It's great because the people who are serious, it's worth it to them, and I give them the value, and I share my marketing gold with them or my nuggets. And then the people who aren't willing to, well, it's okay. They'll figure it out some other way.
Love it. Revenue streams, affiliate marketing?
Yeah, so Amazon has always been something that we've done. Recently, we worked with a product that I really, really happen to like, and they offered us an affiliate code. So anybody who uses the affiliate code gets a discount, and then we get a percentage of revenue as well.
What's the product?
So it's a toothbrush. It's not self-cleaning, but it's a toothbrush that basically has a built-in UV light and brush dryer, which means your electric toothbrush never gets gunky, and it's always disinfected. It's called the Tao Clean, Tao. clean.
How cool.
And I was able to negotiate a deal with them where our audience would get 40% off if they used our promo code.
No, that's great.
And it's worked out really well for us.
Did you approach them?
So I met them at a trade show. And I can actually talk to you about that in a sec because that's been an interesting relationship. But I met them at a trade show, and I pick my 10 favorite products at this trade show every year, and I do a video about it. And I've recently established a wonderful relationship with the company that the association that runs the trade show.
Yep.
So everybody's kind of getting to know Chad and I whenever we make our way around the trade show, and they made my pick for top 10 product of 2015. So that's kind of how we initially established the relationship. And my audience loved the video because, again, I was giving them value both in how to clean your toothbrush. And then I also showed them the toothbrush that I've recently started using. And I gave them a coupon code.
Happy
so
days.
it was a total win for everybody. And those guys are really happy. The toothbrush company, they're thrilled. So that's worked out really well.
Trade shows are great. That's how I found my very first sponsor in Net Registry. I was going to conferences and trade shows for small businesses, and they had the best stand of all of them. Got talking to them, developed a rapport, because you get to meet the people there and then.
That's right.
And the rest is history. They've been with me for 3 years. So, I like that story. I really like that story.
Yeah,
well
and affiliates are a great way for companies, especially if you have a blog. Great way to establish revenue, and I think revenue streams. And I think the thing that's really important, Tim, is for people to be honest and forthcoming about affiliates. So, yes, I have a relationship with Net Registry, but it helps me out and it helps you out. So it's a mutual win for everying.
Totally.
That's something that's really important, especially,
I really struggle. I struggle with it. I struggle in the sense that I want people, I really respect the fact that everyone comes to listen to my podcast, right, on a regular basis. I also know that they find advertising, like we all do, to be a pain in the butt. I like to think my ads are enjoyable, and we were talking about that before we started recording.
Yes.
But it's an ongoing battle to make sure that you find a sponsor that actually has strategic value to the listener, and Net Registry does. Right. That you position that sponsor in a way that the messages that you share are interesting and valuable and not painful. But for me, it's an ongoing battle. Do you find the same? Something that sort of eats away every now and then?
Occasionally, but frankly, if we find it's too painful and it feels like the relationship is crowbarred and that the audience isn't going to be happy with it, we pass on the opportunity. And I can't tell you, I always say to people, I leave so much money on the table, more money than I take, because we're just not willing to go there with a relationship because we don't want to upset our audience.
Yeah. I hear
we always put our audience first. And then when we are forthcoming, we just bring value. When we bring anything to them from a promotional standpoint, we just try to provide the most value we can. So with the toothbrush example, it's not, they had another product and they said, oh, Melissa, do an affiliate code for this. And I said, I can't. There's no relationship. It doesn't make sense. I'd love to take the money, but can't pull it off.
Good on you. Good on you. Back just to finish those revenue streams, sponsored work. You mentioned that earlier. What's that?
Yeah, so I'll just say quickly, the blog, we also place ads on our blog. So that's another revenue stream as well.
On the Clean My Space website, on the blog there?
That's right. The cleanmyspace.com website, yeah.
So you've got a lot of, just on that, because they're Amazon affiliate ads. I'm looking at, there's a YouTube ad for dog walking. There's a WebEx ad. Is that all Amazon based?
I don't work on that, but I think we use the Google backend now.
It is AdSense.
And then one company has bought actual ad space on our website. So just a couple of different revenue streams there alone.
Yep.
And then in terms of sponsored work, which was your other question, that's been really interesting. And one of the benefits of establishing myself over the past 10 years now, Tim, I can't believe it. I've had this cleaning business for 10 years, but...
you must have started when you were 8.
I was a baby. I was born and 3 days later I had a cleaning company. I was 24, so I'm 33 now. When I've been building myself up as this quote unquote cleaning expert, which is funny because I tell everybody I don't like cleaning, but I know so much about it. It's mind boggling. But I've established myself as a real expert in the space. So now when big brands are looking for content creation online, which is something that a lot of companies, big or small, I should say big and small, struggle with. How do I relate to an audience? How do I find an audience? How do I connect with them? How do I get my message out? Exactly like we were just talking about with Net Registry, without sounding like we're crowbarring the content in there. So they look for people who have really well-established audiences, have good presentation skills, and good quality content. So when you type in cleaning on YouTube, it's not a very competitive topic. Cooking, very competitive, very exciting. Cleaning, not so much. So I come up, and we have been presented with some really wonderful, like life-changing opportunities to work with these huge brands. I've done spokesperson work. We've done serial content creation for them, where we've taken a topic and created 5, 6, 7 different videos. And that has paid off really well. I mean,
so just to be clear on what that is, that sponsored work is bigger brands coming to you and saying either help us do what you do in a non-competing industry, or be actually part of it, front the work.
The latter.
Just the latter.
That's pretty much what they want. They'll say, you have this wonderful engaged YouTube audience, and we have product X, and we want to make videos about product X, but we don't want them to look like TV commercials.
Gotcha.
So we're going to give you product X and some guidelines, and can you make videos for us? And then, of course, if we love product X and we use product X already, we're all in. And if we don't like product X, we say thanks, but no thanks.
I love it.
So,
All right, following on that early discussion about integrating sponsors into your helpful content, here is a word from two that exist to help you take control of your marketing. Hey, no fast forwarding. This show is made possible by Key Person of Influence, which according to the Huffington Post is the world's leading brand accelerator program. Now, they've got some very cool one-day events coming up with some amazing speakers. So I asked head honcho Glenn Carlson to pick his favourite. His answer may well surprise you.
That's horrible, mate. I'm going to have to say, while there's Matthew, who's built, the third fastest growing company in Australia, sold it for tens of millions. Valerie is obviously one of the best content creators in Australia, talking about profile. Tim, his company's built over $1 billion worth of value in his clients. Andrew Griffiths, 12 best-selling books. But, mate, I'm the MC. I'm the one that brings it all together. So, despite all these amazing speakers that have got incredible tenure in their space, I'm gonna say my favourite's got to be me.
Oh, you gotta love a big cheese that backs himself. All jokes aside, do your business a favour and grab a $57 seat over at keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. Support for this show comes from Net Registry, a one-stop shop for getting your online marketing sorted. Verity Ma, their Chief Marketing Officer, recently told me this story of a very happy mechanic.
So one of my favourite stories of customers that I heard was a salesperson was talking to a mechanic, and he was talking about what sort of email he would like to have and what kind of hosting, whether he wants cloud or cPanel hosting. And the mechanic just said, look, I don't care, build my website, here's my phone number, make my phone ring and send me the bill. And that was the last we heard of him. He didn't provide us content. He didn't provide us any details about his business. We had his contact details. We wrote all the content and we just got his phone ringing and sent him the bill.
Net Registry, where happy mechanics go to grow their business online. Visit netregistry.com.au or give them a buzz on 1300 638 734 and tell them Timbo sent you. Your YouTube channel is wonderful. You've got lots of playlists across different topics.
Yes.
You do all these videos about how to clean with lemons and how to clean your silverware and top 10 tips for cleaning your bedroom and all that. And that's been your bread and butter. I noticed you've introduced a couple of new things which are interesting, albeit you haven't done a lot of them. The first one is your vlogging. Your video blogs, In fact, you've just done the one, 3 weeks ago on a trip where you documented a trip to New York. Is that something you're going to do more of, and why, or why not?
Yeah, the vlogs have, Chad and I have been tossing the idea of doing a vlog around for a long time. And interestingly enough, we were at an event, a Procter & Gamble event, and we decided instead of doing just like an article about that event, which would essentially be an article about a product, we said, you know what, we'll build a vlog around it. And if you watch the vlog again, you'll know exactly what the product was and what the event was. But we sort of built it in a way that it was kind of fun and something where, again, it brought value to the audience. YouTube is interesting in that it makes the face of the YouTube videos, the personality, it makes them feel like a friend of yours. So a lot of my audience will say, oh, Melissa, I feel like I know you. I love you. We're friends and this and that. And I love that. Like, I never watch a TV show and feel that way. So, when they get to come behind the scenes and sit down with me at breakfast and see what I ordered for breakfast and me talking with my mouth full and then me going to an event and me and Chad having a funny interaction, like, people love that. What it comes down to, and vlogging that is well done is a lot harder than it looks.
Oh, no, that looks hard. That looks like a mini documentary to me. And Chad sat and he edited and he put so much work into it, and there was just so much content that we had filmed, and it was a matter of picking the best little snippets, putting it together, sort of building a story, and then putting it out there. Now, he is so hungry to do vlogs, and he actually just bought a new camera so that we can do more vlogging. It's just a matter of us saying, okay, we have to find a way to sort of weave it into our schedule. So the camera comes out with us every Tuesday and every Friday. Great. So we have to kind of figure that out. But vlogging is something that we want to do more of, because it's so fun and the audience really does love it. I'm going to get geeky here, and I want to talk to you about your holding slides later, because I generally love them. But and a holding slide, listeners, is that frame that you see sitting on YouTube that kind of explains what you're about to watch, or at least
sometimes called the thumbnail.
The thumbnail, exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, more often than not called the thumbnail.
Yeah.
You've called yours for the vlog just Vlog 001.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea? Clearly you think it is. I would have thought that, Melissa in New York would have been, or Melissa, off on, What Stinks in New York is actually the title you have under it. Yeah.
That is the title.
Yeah. Because a lot of your other thumbnails, you just want to click on them. They look like candy.
Well, it's interesting because my husband, I know I talk about him a lot, but he's so integral to this
love
company.
Him.
I do love him.
Chad, I remember in our last interview you said, so I met him, you were thinking of starting a business, you were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and he offered to do you a free website.
That's how it all went down.
And now he's got your hand in marriage, and, he's still doing these, now he's doing these crazy vlogs, and, man, the guy's unstoppable.
Yeah, he's quite a creative force. And so he comes up, he does a lot of research in terms of what thumbnails resonate with people, colors, facial expressions. So, Tim, there's a lot of interesting research coming out about facial expressions. So,
yes.
If it's me, I want to have the prettiest smile where I don't have a double chin and, I'm not like one eye isn't, more shut than the other. Like, I want the picture to be perfect. Meanwhile, he'll go through and he'll say, no, I need the picture where you're, you look like you're really surprised or you're making a really silly face. Those get more clicks.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but it works. And then the other thing, in terms of titling, what stinks in New York? Well, don't you want to know what stinks in New York? So you're going to watch it.
Yeah,
but if I said my, holiday trip to New York City. That's not so exciting. So it's really, it really comes down to finding the most exciting, clickable images and titles, because that's really going to help leverage your content.
That's a massive, that's YouTube 101. That's video marketing 101 right there, listeners. Getting that thumbnail right, getting the description right, getting all the metadata right. We've spoken about this before, but just making it easy, not only for YouTube to know what that video is about, which is important so they can index it in the search, but for the viewer to go, yeah. I want to watch that. I was going to go into thumbnails later, but I'm going to do it now because we're sort of halfway in there, and then I'm going to talk to you about celebrity cleaning confessions, which I love. Your thumbnails have changed. You've gone from this kind of, I call it this candy look. They're just this kind of animated, bubbly font, and then you've got this. You've moved to this kind of it's almost like a very straight font above the image. It's hard. This is audio and you really need to see it. Why the change?
I think what you might be referring to is, so anytime we do a series or something that's sort of off our regular Saturday uploads, we use different fonts, different colors, and different thumb styles. So that way people... we have a visual cue that there's some consistency across a serial piece of content.
Okay, that makes sense now. So if I was to go I'm looking at all your videos, so they're all there on the one page. If I was to go to your playlists and click on a playlist, there'd be the one set of thumbnails. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, good. Our 31 Days of Clean series, which we did or DIY Cleaners, 31 Days of DIY Cleaners, we did that in December as our holiday gift to all of our audience. We used a special color and a special thumbnail and very special in and out cards, which very clearly indicated that was part of a series.
Now, Melissa, you've got this series, I guess, called Celebrity Cleaning Confessions. You had Jess Tyler Fergusson from Modern Family on one of them. That's impressive.
That was the first one I got to do, and I was very nervous, and Jesse was lovely and easy to talk to, and
how did it come about? He's the redhead gay guy.
That's right, yeah, and he's so funny.
So funny.
And basically, the way it works is I've created some really good relationships with brands, and when brands work with these celebrities to get them to endorse product, they will bring me out to talk to the celebrity because they know that I have an audience that's interested in cleaning and, of course, that loves celebrity culture. So if you look at my demographic, it's quite clear that it's a really good fit.
Yep.
So I'll get brought out to talk to all of these different celebrities, and I'm not asking them about what they wore on the red carpet. I'm like, so what do you use to clean your toilet? It's just funny,
It was great.
You get to see them in a whole different light.
So Celebrity Cleaning Confessions, is that a series of videos that's come up as a result, just opportunistic, you're working with a brand that also sponsors Jess Tyler Fergusson? So, hey, that's how it happened?
That's exactly how it happened. If I called Brad Pitt's agent and I said, hey, I'd like to do a celebrity cleaning confession interview with Brad Pitt, the agent would be like, I don't think so.
I'm going to pull you back on that.
Okay.
Brad Pitt, it's a big one, right? But hey, he might be in Toronto and he's got an afternoon spare. But I just think, in my experience, if you don't ask, you don't get. And often when you do ask, be careful what you ask for because it might come true, right?
If I get to talk to Brad Pitt about cleaning toilets, Tim, I'm going to credit it totally to you.
And it'll be a goodbye, Chad.
I don't know about
Not about that. No. So tell me, okay, I want to explore Jess Tyler Fergusson. I mean, that's Hollywood celebrity. That's A-list, right?
Yeah.
Good guy, imagine. I mean, if he is what he's like on TV in real life, I think I'd feel pretty comfortable with him. But still, we're talking star.
Yeah.
So you get the call. The call says, yes, you can have access to Jess. We'd love you to interview him and have him on your blog. You go, okay. Wow, I'm now incredibly nervous. The day comes, you arrive.
Yeah.
How are you feeling just before you see him and then when you see him?
So, it's funny. I don't really get starstruck. So I just look at people, especially celebrities, like they're just other people. They're just other people doing their thing. They're doing their job. And I mean, on the one hand, it's exciting to meet them. And, you know, when I'm interviewing someone like Jess Tyler Fergusson, there are 60 other people, and the energy in the room is crazy because there's so much going on. So I think everybody else is really buzzy.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I just sit down and I just want to talk about cleaning and have fun. So it's more, if anything, the adrenaline's there because I'm like, I got to get my questions out in 5 minutes. How do I do this? Like, that's more what it's like, as opposed to feeling starstruck.
He's the pro's pro, so he would get that too. You would hope, and he probably made you feel very comfortable. And
for sure, that's the thing when you're dealing with these big timers, like they know how to handle themselves and they know how to handle you too. So yeah,
what did that do for the business, for your business, having Jess on? Anything?
It was nice. It certainly provides an added level of credibility, and it's certainly impressive. When people say, "Oh my gosh, you've interviewed him, you've interviewed Nate Berkus, you've interviewed all these cool, famous people." It's great for the brand, certainly. Can I say it's directly brought me more clients or more sponsorship? Well, frankly, when sponsorship talks do arise, the fact that I have had the opportunity to work with celebrities certainly plays into future opportunities for me. That's for sure.
Yes.
So from leveraging that opportunity, it certainly works out. Does it directly impact my dollars next day? No, it's more of a long-term play.
Great for
but
the
it
show
certainly
reel.
works out.
Great for the next sponsorship proposal. Great for all the it's a great credentializer, eh?
Totally. Thumbs up to that.
You had to laugh. You're saying there's 60 people in the room. All you want to do is have a conversation with Jess about cleaning, and there's all these other people running around hair and makeup and publicity and lawyers.
Powdering. Yeah, exactly.
It's like
combing hair.
I love hearing that because, as much as I would love 10 people around me right now, saying, you got this left and make sure you ask her this, and, I'm here by myself. I love that fact because as small business owners, which you and I are, we have so much flexibility. We don't have the pressure of 60 people running around telling us what to do or justifying their existence. And this is what I love about our helpful marketing approach. It's we have complete control.
That's right.
Bring that on. Hey,
bring it for sure.
Now, Melissa, I'm going to write. Have I interrogated your YouTube channel enough? Pulled it apart for listeners. I think I have, but I am going to encourage listeners, and I've done this, by the way, in many keynotes around Australia, in fact, around the world, where I have referenced your YouTube channel because I think it's best practice. Look,
thank you.
No, honestly, I love it. Am I sounding like a fanboy?
You are, but I'm going to take it really positively because I super appreciate that. And you know what? We spend a painstaking amount of time just trying to figure out best practices. We try to, we do a lot of testing. So we'll try one thing one week, one thing the next week. We see what works, and then we apply those best practices. This is an ongoing, living, breathing challenge. And every single week we are upping our game.
Well, it's obvious.
Every week we're looking for new ways to make improvements, new ways to get more audience. And frankly, I look at my stuff and I'm hard on myself, and I'm like, we're not doing good enough. We're not big enough. And I know a lot of people can probably, they can probably say they've had a similar feeling, especially being a small business owner. You always want to be 3 steps ahead. But it's really important, and, I have to do this with my team. We have to say, well, look how far we've come. Look at the accomplishments we have made. And then here are the goals that we have. This is where we want to go. How do we get there?
Yeah, gotcha. Tell me, before we wrap things up, 3 off the top of your head tips for those looking to embark on a video marketing strategy. Go.
Okay, so the first tip is one video can turn into about 5 or 6 different pieces of content. So if you look at one video, sort of think of it as the seed, And then it can sprout out into a Facebook post. It can sprout out into a blog post. It can sprout into an Instagram post, a Twitter post, and a Pinterest post.
Nice.
So one little nugget of content can be turned into so many different things that you can plug into your Hootsuite or whatever program you're using to send out different pieces of content through the day that you can repurpose 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. Tim, some of our biggest videos and some of the videos that make us the most amount of money because they'll get picked up on, SF Gate or whatever any of those big websites are videos we made 4 years ago. So you never know, right? You never know when you put a little piece of content out there, whatever way you put it out there, you never know how well it's going to do. So that would be my first tip. My second tip would be to take a look and see what people are asking, because you might be really smart. You might be the best plumber on the block, but if nobody is looking up, I can't even make it up on the spot, but some intricate, detailed plumbing question that you might know because you're a plumbing expert. If somebody,
how do I stop my
average
tap
Joe,
dripping?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're going to be looking up. So when you're creating content, you really want to simplify it and make it, something that the average Google user would look up. So no technical words, really easy, really simple. That's really important because that's going to help you sort of build your credibility online. And then the third tip I would say is, and this is something you're really good at, creating a name for yourself with your community and with your audience. So they have to know who you are. They have to create a relationship with you. So your audience calls you Timbo. And I think that's great because when I think of you in my head, I'm like, that's Timbo. And I know, when we talk, I have this persona of you, and you probably have this persona of me. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we both worked really hard at creating. And also, when we're communicating with our audience, we're consistent in the way that we're communicating with them. So we're responsive, we're a little bit fun, but we're definitely value driven in terms of the interactions that we have. So that's really important too, because if you're going to take the time and put content out there, you really want it to be something that your audience, A, is going to feel that they've established a relationship with you, and B, feel like it's something that they've really gotten, they've really gleaned something from that interaction with you.
Do you know what I love about those 3 tips, Melissa, is that my question to you was, what are your top 3 tips for someone, a business owner, looking to embark on a video marketing strategy? And none of your answers were about technology, about gadgets, about you got to get this software and this camera and this microphone and this lighting. No. Just get that. Get whatever you can afford, right? Because all the stuff these days is good enough, yeah? As you get better, you're going to buy... Yeah.
Yeah, I know people that make videos on their phones.
So, absolutely. The camera on the iPhone and smartphone's amazing. So what I love is that the 3 answers that you gave are more about your message, your content, what you say, as opposed to how you're going to film it, which is great. It's a big lesson there for us all. Hey, love it. Thank you. Yeah,
that stuff will sort itself out when you have a little bit more money. But, I've said this to you before and I'll say it again. Having the best equipment and the best software and everything like that that doesn't necessarily guarantee success. You can invest in that later down the line, let your production values increase as your audience increases. But start with just developing a really great relationship and great content.
I think we've all been guilty of going, you know what, if I buy that really good camera, or if I invest in that online course, I'm done. I've made it. That's where I'll make my money there. But no. It's what you do. It's actually the fact that you go and do something. It's about taking action, and I go on about that, until I'm blue in the face, because I believe taking action is everything. I remember you saying, imagine, look back at your first video, listen back to my first podcast. I mean, embarrassing, but hey, they're out there.
Totally. Yeah. And we leave them out there proudly because it's good to see anybody's progression, It's humbling.
Totally.
Yeah.
Melissa Maker, Clean My Space. Can everyone find you on Twitter?
Yeah, at Clean My Space, at Melissa Maker. We use the same handles on Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and Facebook. So easy to find us everywhere.
Is the at Clean My Space sort of the business stuff, and at Melissa Maker kind of personal?
Yeah, the at Melissa Maker, that's sort of, remember we were talking earlier about sort of the Melissa Maker brand.
Yeah.
So that's kind of me. And, if you follow me on Instagram, you can see other things that I'm up to aside from just cleaning, because like I said, having the relationship with my audience is important. And I believe it has to extend beyond cleaning. So I'll show them what I'm cooking or
gotcha.
where I'm at on the weekend or a fun outfit that I'm wearing, because that's a relationship building tool.
Yeah, totally. Hey, we didn't allow time, and we won't do it now, but I am going to invite you back. And if you want to interview me about how to bring speaking into your revenue stream, then I would love to and I know there's audience members out there who would love to do the same. So, hey, if you're up for it in the next few weeks, why don't we kind of reconvene?
I think that's a great idea, because I'd love to pick your brain about it.
Cool. Done.
On behalf of all of the listeners.
Done. All right, Melissa, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. It was a pleasure.
How good is Melissa? God, gee, she's doing some good marketing, helpful marketing. Do send her a tweet. Let her know you heard her on the show. And I look forward to getting her back so that she can interrogate me about my speaking business. Now, I want to share my top 3 attention grabbers that I got from that interview, thanks to Key Person of Influence, whose one-day brand accelerator is not to be missed. Be sure to grab your seat over at keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo and Net Registry for 3 exclusive packages to help get your business found online. Because you are who Google says you are. Right, I'm a top 3 attention grabbers team. Number 1, create helpful marketing. Amazing things happen. If this concept continues to evade you, then don't stress, as my new book, coming out shortly, is going to sort all that out once and for all. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com and register your name, and you'll be on my list. You'll be the first to know about that book when it comes out in the next month or 2. Attention grabber number 2. Create content that the average Google user would look up. Hey, think about what people are keying into a search engine when looking for a business like yours and create content that answers it. Attention grabber number 3, repurpose your content team. One of Melissa's videos becomes at least 5 content pieces. You could easily make that 10. Think about repurposing. People consume information in different ways. They're my 3 attention grabbers. What was your biggest takeaway? I'd love to know. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, search for episode 295, and leave me some feedback. King Content, Tom Wheatland, once said, leverage that one strength that you have, that no one else anywhere in the world can be you. I do love that quote. People buy from people. Be yourself, whether you're producing a video or a podcast or maybe even writing a book. Just be yourself. It makes marketing life so much easier. Hey, I got a listener question here and a bit of feedback. It's from Sean at digilari.com.au. They're kind of like a conversion website, online conversion website. He says, hey, Timbo, I do have a question, but first I've got to say I love your podcast. It's just fantastic to constantly hear from how your guests have had ups and downs in the growth of their businesses and how they overcome. Inspirational for sure. So thanks for bringing it to us each week. Well, Sean, it's why I do it, mate. I love ups and downs. If anyone ever tells you the rise to fame and success is all up, quickly walk away and give them a weird look as you're walking away, sort of a side glance with a mouth open. You know what I mean? Sean goes on to say, best takeout of late was old mate vet from Bunbury. I love that phrase, old mate vet. Yeah, it's good. He was in episode 290, who spends at least 8 hours a week on marketing. I'm dining out on that story a bit at the moment. It's just amazing how so many people think marketing just happens when we all know it actually needs specific actions. Oh, you are singing from the same songbook as I am, Sean. You got to take action, mate. You got to put the hard yards in. And anyone listening to that going, that sounds scary. Don't be. Enjoy it. Marketing's fun. Sean goes on to say, anyway, my question, okay, could be a small gripe, but being a bit of a runner, I'm often running down the road listening intently to your podcast when, bang, I'm hit by a... No, it doesn't say that. You go from your interviews to a sponsor's ad and the decibels seem to be cranked up to a deafening proportion. Well, loudly uncomfortable. Is there a way to level this out so that peeps like me don't have to rip the earbuds out mid-podcast during the run? Sorry, don't mean to come across ungrateful, and maybe I have the sound too loud already, overcoming traffic noise, etc., but thought I'd let you know. But first and foremost, keep the podcasts coming. Cheers, Sean. digilari.com.au. Sean, I had a chat to my editor, Daryl. He's a man of few words, and I'm going to prod and poke him for a longer answer at some point. But he says, Timbo, I know what he's referring to. It's a similar issue to TV when watching a movie and the ads start. There are ways around it, but it is a perceived loudness issue. So the ads aren't actually louder than the content. It's just perceived. Is that right, Daz? Well, Daryl, I know you are listening to this because you're editing this show. I am going to prod you for more information that I can share with listeners in an upcoming episode. Because you say there's ways around it. What is that way? Hey, you want to get a mention on the show, team? Simply leave a listener review on iTunes or Stitcher, along with your most pressing marketing conundrum, and I will answer it in an upcoming episode. Not a lot of downside there. In fact, none, really. You get your brand in front of thousands of motivated business owners globally, and I get a bit of lovin'. Oh, yeah. All righty, how are we going for time? You still with me? Quick bit of feedback. Listener feedback left on iTunes. It's short. Every podcast relates to your business somehow, says this listener, Vinny Chandra. Vinny's from the Fiji Curry Kit. He says, amazing. I recommend it all the time. Thanks, Vinny. 5 stars. Beautiful. One other one. This is from Tegan. Hey, Timbo, thanks for a great podcast. So glad I started listening to your show. I'm a young wantrepreneur. Oh, is that a lovely phrase? Don't be a wantrepreneur. Be a have-trepreneur. You can have it. You can, Tegan. And love listening to your episodes each week on my runs. Another runner. There we go. They keep the business fire alight within me, and I love your recap of marketing lessons at the end of each podcast. Thank you, says Tegan. Good on you, Tegan. May your entrepreneurial journey be enjoyable and successful. Ooh, well, I reckon that about does it. What do you reckon? We go and create now? We go and build that empire? There's plenty of marketing gold coming away in the weeks ahead. Next episode, we are joined by a bit of a marketing hero of mine. Yep, there's a bit of bromance going on. Jay Baer, I think is how he pronounces it, but it's spelled Baer, B-A-E-R. He's the author of a great marketing text called Utility, and he's just launched his latest book, lovingly titled Hug Your Haters. Love that phrase. Be sure to use NetRegistry if you need a website to get your website found. Well, you do need a website if you want to get your website found, don't you? But you know what I mean. Great listener packages over at netregistry.com.au/Timbo. And if you're not one of the thousands of listeners who have grabbed a hard copy of the Key Person of Influence Amazon bestseller, then head over to keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo and they'll send you a hard copy. Hey, thanks to Daryl Misson for making this show possible in terms of the way it sounds. Love your work, Daz. And to Lockie Doley for taking responsibility for this show's music bed. Because, Lock, you have made it everything it is. I'm totally tone deaf, so I couldn't have done that myself. Hey, if you want to surround yourself with other motivated business owners, then join the Small Business Big Marketing Forum over at crankmymarketing.com. I'm in there most days answering your marketing conundrums, and I'd love to speak at an upcoming event. timreid.com.au is where you'll find me. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid. Thanks for listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.